Hey guys, so this video we're going to be going over Ultra Half Corrupted Fusion Zamasu's kit along with a bunch of other stuff that just is about to release in about an hour of my recording this. I did see a little bit of what he was doing, wasn't there for his Legends information, but that's what we're here for. So he is a purple melee type, and that's pretty good because feature right now is mostly melee. Ultra Rose is a melee type. Ultra Cell is a range type, but you can build them either way. And I don't know, that's probably the main two feature units. Unless I'm missing someone, I guess Rose Zamasu assist, the Zenkai we just got, that could work. But let's go ahead and check the stats. Keep in mind, we got to get rid of 13,000 in all stats to get rid of Arts Boost. Okay, so he is sitting at around 258 strike attack, 250 blast attack, and then 179 strike defense, and then 182 blast defense. If we just compare him to another Ultra that we've gotten recently, let's take a look at Ultra Vegeta. I have him arts boosted, I believe. Yeah, so what is that? So 262 and then 268 to main offense. Let's just check real quick. Let's just check again. 268 main offense compared to. Okay, so he actually does have I wouldn't say significantly, but how much is that? I don't know, about 10,000 differential between them two. Let's check Frieza. Yeah, that's one hell of a jump. 272. Who else is there? Okay, so pretty similar, I would say, to Super Saiyan Goku, right? 273, so that's 265. No, it's actually lower. Huh, interesting. Okay. So he's probably going to get a lot of stats elsewhere, or just percentages, like damage inflicted. He holds a strike and blast card. Strike, high area, health restoration down, minus 40% for 15 counts. Tags. The good thing about any Fusion Zamasu character is that he is on a lot of tags. So, God Key, Future, Regen, Fusion Warriors, Powerful Opponents. You know, that is what, 5 usable, like, teams. That's always good. Right, Feint. Okay. Inflict enemy with Feint on hit, 5% chance. Okay. Why do they feel the need to give him this? Like, I understand he's an Ultra, but 5% chance for a Feint? Are we serious right now? He does have Blast Armor, which is good. Regular Blast. Divine Sundering Hammer is a melee blue card. On activation, special move plus 60%. And then enemy Dragon Balls minus 1 twice. That is a very good ability. Yeah, Dragon Ball manipulation will always be strong. Twice, that's pretty good. On hit, inflict enemy with heavy bleeding and strong poison. So you're getting hit with a double whammy of abnormal conditions. So you're lowering HP by double. Okay, sure. Blast Armor, charging forward, of course. Frenzy, Divine Storm. This was a melee green card. On activation, Ki plus 50, damage plus 30, protect hand. And on hit, draw Strike Arts next and nullify special cover change for 5 counts. Okay, that's good. And then comboable Blast Armor. Nice. Purifying Hellfire, Supreme Damage, Explode. On activation, ultimate damage plus 50% and endurance nullification. On hit, you destroy entire enemy hand and prevent all enemies switching. Blast Armor. That's very reminiscent of the old Red Zamasu, the 3rd anniversary one. If you guys recall, whenever he landed his ultimate, he destroyed the entire enemy's hand. And if you actually KO'd an opponent with your ultimate, I believe it was key down? Good check. Where is he? Where? There's. Reduce key by 100 and then no switching. Where was the ability where... Yeah, destroy only hand. Yeah, when enemy is defeated. So this is very reminiscent of this Zamasu, at least that ability in particular. Yeah, pretty much the same except minus the key. But that's pretty strong. Main ability, destroy 2 cards, then draw 1 each of special and ultimate art. So he's getting a melee green and an ultimate, and he's destroying the cards too, which is nice. Health 40%, key 40, damage 30%, 30 counts uncancelable, and cancel attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. Yeah, that's a very good main ability. Canceling attribute downgrades will always be strong, especially now with all the arts cost increase with like full power freeze, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, yada yada yada. And then abnormal condition, I guess it can be good against enemies, Zamasu, I guess. The bleed and the paralysis and what. Feature ultra ability, not much of a surprise there. Yeah, same deal. The ability. If feature or powerful opponent, base strike attack and defense 42%, and a feature ultimate or awakening damage plus 5%. I'm surprised they didn't include Fusion Warriors on here at all, considering Fusion Warriors is in desperate need of a damage dealing character. But sure. I guess you could slot him on leader slot or whatever. Star ability, here we go. Let's see if... Okay. Damage 300%, damage guard 200%, key recovery plus 50%, draw speed, and sub count on switch -2. So he has automatic sub count down on switch. I believe Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta had that as well. Let me just check in a separate window. Where is it? Does he have that? I feel like he does, or someone does. I can't remember. Someone on GT. He does have that. Sub counts on switch -2. Okay. Okay, I mean, that's very strong. If we compare the starter abilities between Vegeta and this guy, damage, same damage card actually went down 10%. Key recovery went down 20%. Okay. We'll just see if he gets other stuff anywhere else. Body distorted by hatred and rage. On final counter, that's what I forgot to mention. He does have a death AoE very similar to Super Saiyan 3 Goku from GT that we just got. Deals major explode damage to enemies and also deals 100% of the damage to enemy standby. What? Inflict all enemies with heavy bleed, strong poison, and paralyze. Are we serious right now? Okay. Interesting. So that is that fluff that we're talking about on Ultra characters that they don't really need, but because they're Ultra characters, the devs go out of their way to make sure that the Ultra is good and top 3, 5, whatever you want to say. But heavy bleed, strong poison, and paralysis. So you're getting double tick damage along with paralysis, man. Okay. So once again, cancel attribute or cancel abnormal conditions is going to be very strong. I believe 13 has that. Let me just make sure. On his freaking card, or is it cancel or nullify? Is it nullify? Okay. So you're gonna either need... So the best way to counter this, I guess, is use 13's green card and then KO the Zamasu. So then you don't get inflicted with this, at least for this character. But for any other character, you're gonna have to find a way to nullify attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions just to counter this, because The Paralyze is very RNG based. And that's probably the main issue I have with these RNG mechanics, is that it feels very unfair to fight against. But sure, Ultras, man. Okay, on battlefield entry, draws a card, key 30, nullify or go type neutral defensively, nullify attribute downgrades, that's strong, and all enemy draw speed -1. Okay, that's very strong. Nullifying attribute downgrades, that's the cost up, which is very strong. That's, I believe, MUI Goku has that post-transformation. It might just be at abnormal conditions. But, pretty strong. And draw speed down is always strong. On arts use, activations reset on switch. Unique gauge plus 20%, damage plus 30% for 10 counts, and then cover null. That's good. I like that cover null, because a lot of these units have been having on battlefield entry cover null. And that's just very easy to waste if you're at midfield or you're trying to gain priority. I like this one better. When hit by enemy arts cost, activations reset on switch or when unique gauge is full. Damage card plus 30%. Interesting. Enemy key -30. Okay, so timed damage card increase. That's very similar to Kaioken Goku's ability. Except Kaioken got damage card up every time his gauge popped. So let me just check by how much. So he had 180% damage card, and then every time his gauge popped. Alright, let's see, where is it? Damage card plus 20%. So he goes up to 200, and this guy's going up to what, 230, right? 230. That's very strong. Where were we? Okay, and then enemy key -30. That's a solid disrupt. You know, no destroying card, but we'll see if that happens soon. Also, if health is 50% or lower, unique gauge charge rate 200% for 20 counts. Ally sub count -2, and then destroy 2 enemy cards 1 time. Activation is reset on switch. That is really strong. Because that's every time he switches in and he has 50% lower and he gets hit. So there's the destroy 2 enemy cards. So he's destroying 2 enemy cards and -30 key. And keep in mind, the ally subcount down -2 isn't limited. So every time he gets hit by a card when he's 50% HP or lower, he's going to be lowering subcount. So that is insanely strong. And there's no limit, like, anywhere. And even the 2 card, no, destroy 2 enemy cards, that's 1 time, but that's every time he switches in. So that's insane. So this guy's going to be really hard to kill unless you one-shot him. That's crazy. When on battlefield, an ally is prevented from switching, that's lock-in, seal, enemy, strike, blast, special move arts. Gee, I wonder who that's supposed to counter as a purple. Obviously, Ultra Goku. Yeah, that's going to make it impossible for him to do anything. Especially if he has 13 on the same team, because doesn't he also have lock-in, like, counters? Yeah, prevented from switching. Enemy key -40, Rising Rush Seal, and Main Ability Seal. So if you have both of these guys on the same team, you're pretty much just not dying. Or the enemy can't do anything at all, unless he has Overdrive. That is literally his only option. That's pretty funny. Or green card, I guess, just to get over that. Green card or Overdrive, that's his only 2 options. While not defeated, an enemy activates Ultimate or Awaken Rush, or Awaken Arts or Rising Rush. Subcount -10 and buff effect removal 1 time. The subcount -10 is indefinite. So, does this guy have endurance? Does he have a second life or something? He has a strike cover change. And he comboable, obviously. Wait, he doesn't have it. So I guess this is just to play into his death AoE and getting all those ridiculous procs with the bleed, poison, and paralysis. Okay. But most case scenario, you're not gonna be wanting to sack this guy off. Okay, unique gauge counter type into time type. Starts as counter type with 50% and auto counter. Counter type, when hit by counterable attack, deal massive damage to enemy and switch to time type. Forward charging ultimate and awaken arts or oh right, that's what it is. Okay, so for it, you can counter ultimate or rushes, and that's supposed to play into the sub count minus 10. Gotcha. All right, what else? When the gauge becomes full or on auto counter activation, 20% health. 30 key, crit rate 20% for 10 counts, draw speeds 10 counts, so he gets 2 times card draw speed, nullify element disadvantage, so that's type neutral, nullify attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions, and then cancel attribute downgrades, that's strong. Charges while on the battlefield and consumed entirely on auto counter activation or when unique gauge is full. Okay, let me just... So this is a... Let me get this straight. So this is a multi-counter to an ultimate or rush. And it charges when you're on the battle. Hold on, I'm getting confused here. It starts as a counter type with 50% charge. And then it charges while on the battlefield. And it's consumed on auto counter activation. So when the counter gauge is consumed, it turns into a time type, and I guess that charges while on the battlefield? So the counter type is a time type. Am I looking at this wrong? So the counter only works when the gauge is at 100%. And it will charge from 50 to 100 through time. And then once it's consumed by you getting hit by an ultimate or a rush, it'll reset to 0 and then turn into time type until it gets to charge. Okay, sure. Alright. So he has multiple counters to all these big attacks. That's really strong. How much damage is this guy getting? Because 300 there. 30% on RT, so that's 330. And he gets damage from his green card, right? 30%, so 360? 360 max, and then he's not stacking anywhere. Oh, 30% on his main ability, so 390. Wow, okay. Again, that's countered by his smaller stats, but he's gonna be hitting hard. Tankiness, he's gonna be pretty. I think he'll be pretty tanky. He's getting 230% damage card max whenever he's hit below 50%, and he also has that multi 50%. That multi 50% HP disrupt is kind of crazy. Okay, he looks good. Again, he's an ultra, so obviously he's gonna be good. Yeah, paralysis, and so this guy has faint on his strike card. He has what? Bleed and where was the blue card? He has bleed and poison on his blue card, and then on his death AoE, he has bleed, poison, and okay, sure. There's that fluff, that ultra fluff. Whoop-de-doo. All right. Next up, we have a bunch of equipment coming. We have the Green Android 21's equipment coming. We have some some unique equipment from the event coming that they were talking about. We have Red Zamasu's equipment. Just go through it. I'm assuming these two are gonna be an ultimate equipment because we're not supposed to be getting a co-op until next week. So this is for feature 15% base defenses and then 25% base offenses. It's a lot of stats. It's very basic. The issue is that whenever a new feature equipment comes out, feature already has access to a lot of really good equipment, mainly that Awakened Trunks equip for weapon wielders as well. That's a really strong, that's pretty much a must use for every feature unit if you can. So they have that, they have a bunch of unique equipment, they have a bunch of other Awakened equipments, except especially Zamasu's, because they have access to a lot of tags, so a lot of these tags have a lot of good equipment. Fusion Warriors feature God Key, powerful opponent, you know, stacking up. It's for Zamasu. 20% base defenses and offenses and 10% special move. This is very strong. I like this better. It's more balanced and it has the additional special move. Again, HP would be nice, but not expecting, you know, every equipment. It's probably the PvP equipment for powerful opponent. Health 12%, or health restoration 12%, base health 10%, 15% strike attack, and then 10% to strike and blast attack pure if his character's tag Goku. This is a good equipment. Every time they have the health restoration and health, which is a double defensive mechanic, and then they have the offensive base and pure. This is really strong. Incredibly strong. Wow. Okay, yeah, this is really good equipment. They've been doing really well with these PvP equipment, so I'm not surprised. What else? Let's see what's next. No co-op? Yep, no co-op. We shouldn't be getting an Awakened equipment because that resets next week. There's the 21 equipment and there's this 2 Zamasu equipments. Okay, let me just scroll down to Awaken and just make sure. Yeah, that was from last week. All right. Let's go over. Did I miss it? No. Let's go over this one. Feature and purple. Base health 10%, special move and ultimate damage 12%, and then strike attack 36%. This is really strong as well. Wow. Okay. You got the defense, you got special move, ultimate, and then strike attack. This is incredibly strong. Probably a must run. Zamasu? I'm gonna have to check, but this is really strong. This is the red Zamasu equipment. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so 20% HP. Before we start this, keep in mind that this Zamasu came out what? February, because I believe he was the Battle Hour release in the same time slot as Super 17 last year. So, you know, he's not as old as most people, but a lot of his issues was that he didn't have any buff removal or second life. Not the fact that he didn't have both of them, it's just that he didn't have either. So his tanking wasn't that good. Even though he had a defense and offensive gauge, just wasn't enough to sustain him. So 20% HP, 50% base defenses, damage guard 30 to 90%. Okay. 70% inflicted damage, 50% base strike attack and blast attack. When hit by enemy arts, if own health is 50% or low, restores own health by 20%. So that's one time. That's alright. It's not gonna help if he gets one-shotted. Slot 3. On battlefield entry, the following effects occur. Draw one card if hand is 3 or fewer, and then covered. Yes. I forgot about that one. Another issue that this guy had is that he had very restrictive cover null. So the only way I don't think he even got, did he get cover null on his green card? He did not at all. Not even on his attack type gauge. So that just really sucked. What else? Where else did he get cover null from? I know he got it when his gauge pops. Yes, he got it when his attack type gauge popped. I feel like he had it somewhere else. Here, applies the following effects itself if only unique gauge is sustained damage type when this character uses a strike blast special move. Okay, so it's been a while. So the way his gauge works is that if he gets hit by a card, it changes to sustained damage type, and when he uses a card, it changes to attack type. So what this does is it nullifies the RNG aspect of his cover null condition. So in case you switch in and you have an attack type gauge that's not full, then you're secure to get cover null. So before, if he switched in and he had a sustained damage type gauge, so he took damage before he switched out, he would get cover null then. But not if it was already attack type gauge and he went in. So yeah, that's good. So this eliminates the RNG aspect of his cover null, one of his cover null conditions. So that's really strong. He received key on entry, right? Yeah, 30 key. Okay. When sustained damage type unique gauge is consumed, ally subcount -3. That's really strong. On special arts use, if unique gauge is attack type, nullify attribute downgrades. That's also really strong. So that's like cost increase. So that's really strong. When you're in the middle of a combo and then they switch to Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, you can just nullify that. So here's what I think. So another one of his issues is that the way his gauge works, when he gets it full, it takes another card to reset it. So what that means is that it takes 5 cards to fill it up, and then an additional one to consume it. So that's 6 total, which is a lot, because this guy doesn't have a second life. He doesn't have consistent defensive capabilities besides his gauge, and now the 50% HP one-time health restoration. So my issue is, how many attacks is going to be able to take to proc this subcount -3? Because it's going to take 6 cards. Because it says when the gauge is consumed. So is he going to be able to tank enough? Will he be able to tank 6? I guess if it's empty. Will he be able to tank 6 hits for the sub countdown to take effect? I don't know. I'm not sure if the damage card 90% is enough. Because, I mean, who else got an equipment recently? Let me think. Who got an equip? I'm blanking. Goku got his equip before the update, I believe. Before the philosophy change update, right? Let me try to find his equip. I believe it was this one. Yeah, no, he didn't get any damage card. So who got an equip? Tag Force. Tag Force. Where are they? There they are. How much did they get? They got 120%, and they still couldn't tank that well. We're just gonna have to see. I'm not sure if that's enough. This guy is newer. By a lot. By 3-4 years. We're gonna have to see. Okay, now. 21. They're gonna have to do a lot for her, because her Zenkai came out, what, a year or two ago? And this, she was a fun unit. 20% HP, 90% strike attack, 110% blast attack, and then 100% base defenses. 150% inflicted damage, 100% damage card, 50% key recovery, and 10% HP when this character enters the battlefield. Yep, they've been doing that a lot. On battlefield entry, the following effects occur: cover null and the key plus 70 on uncover change enemy key minus 50. When not defeated, an enemy activates Rising Rush, cancel enemy buffs one time. Wow, okay. So before this unique equipment, I don't believe she got any sort of cover null, if I'm not mistaken. I believe maybe she got it on her main. I don't think so. Let me try to find her really quickly. Where is she? I'm definitely skipping it. I'm looking at the website right now. Pretty. There she is. Okay. On Zenkai. Yeah, she didn't get cover null anywhere. So this is really strong. And a few notable things about her kit is she has the cover rescue ability very similar to Yellow Super Saiyan 4. And she has a what's it called? A solar flare green card that draws a blue. So this last bit here actually works really well with her cover rescue because she's canceling buffs, so you're guaranteed to be able to cover rescue if you don't waste it up to their Rising Rush. That's really strong. And I believe she is able to get... Yeah, she gets 2 cover rescues. One is just naturally, and the other is through her main ability. So keep that in mind. This might bring her up. I mean, she already has a good base kit with all Solar Flare, Cover Rescue. On battlefield entry, she switches all her strike cards to blast. This could be strong. Yeah, I really like that. Alright, so that's pretty much it in terms of new solid equipment and units. If we go over to the data mines real quick, shout out Hydras once again. Give me a second, let me pull it up. We should have some important stuff coming in. Right, okay. Alright, so this is pretty much a bait banner, but these are mainly somewhat recent units. We got Zamasu, who's getting unique equipment, Trunks and Gohan, transforming Vegeta Blue and transforming Goku Black. So 2 Legends Festival units and the After Party unit. The main reason they're doing this is because they announced in the Legends information is that all of the future characters in Tier C are going up to like Tier A or B. So that's why the Legends Fest units are coming in. So they should be more viable. This is just missions and events. Guild battles coming back. No one cares about that. The 21 banner is coming back. The OG, rip to the OGs. More missions, you can get 500 Chrono Crystals. The new login bonus where you're guaranteed 500 CC, that's pretty strong. So you're getting 100 CC every day. Here's the banner. They do have a pity system. It is a very strict pity. I believe it's you gotta get 600 rolls or 600 summons. This is the PvP season. New art sleeves. 3 once daily. I guess it's Super Master Pack. I assume this is just updating the old Super Master Pack. That's pretty good. This is just because the 20% drop, the 2 times Z power and everything's going away for 13. Here it is. If not, oh, it's 600. Yeah, if not guaranteed, if not obtained, guaranteed to drop on the 600th summon. So that's 60 summons total. And you'll get it on the 60th one if you haven't gotten them yet. So strict pity. I believe that's it. It's just a bunch of equipment. It's the featured for the bait banner. These he'll be good or usable after the unique equipment. They'll be usable because they're in the tier C and benches. Tag droids are in there, which is interesting. Still waiting for the Zenkai. Okay, and here's the featured banner for the featured units for the banner, the Ultra banner. New unit, Super Saiyan Broly, Perfect Cell, Half Corrupt. This is the red Zamasu and Goku Black. Broly's a fairly recent character, somewhat recent. Good bench, good bench, good bench. Bunch of Ultra banners coming back, and that is pretty much it. So a bit of a longer video today. Let me know what you guys are thinking, if you're excited, if you're gonna summon. I am definitely going all in for Zamasu. Try to get 2 copies, hopefully. Hopefully my luck doesn't screw me over, but yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.